finally got our hands on the Brian Tooley Racing Hemi long and short manifolds. Now these are a really nice looking manifold. Let's check them out, a bit of a walk around before we go into the finer details of them. So that's the long version right there, and then come to the other one, which is the short version. So if we get the camera straight, you can sort of see a very big difference in overall height. So this is a 5.5 inch runner length, and I've measured this basically standing up to the center of the actual trumpet. So it's probably not exactly spot on, but let's call it what it is. So it's 5.5 inch to the center, which is here, and then this one over here is 7 inches long. So, and then the rails, man, the rails are solid as big dash 12 rails. These things are like like a sump girdle. They are so strong. But going to look pretty cool once it all goes together. Get that camera back down there, so it should look pretty cool. But what we're comparing it against is, let's get this camera right again, give me a bit of grief today. So this manifold here, which also has a 5 inch runner, and it's got the sort of like a low profile design, but it's got the trumpets inside as well. This worked quite good, but we've also got the MMX ported factory manifold. So these factory manifolds got a variable runner in them, so pretty much you've got a short runner into a long runner, a long runner into a short runner over the RPM, so you get the best of both worlds. But these manifolds are obviously intended for a particular RPM band or power band, so you don't get the best of both worlds. So you got to pick the one that gives you the power in the bottom or the power in the top, and that all comes down to what you're trying to achieve. Now, this engine that we're testing on, it's a 427 built engine. It's got a custom Brian Tooley camshaft in there that Nick put together for us. I asked Nick to put a camshaft together that gives us good bottom end power because we knew we had the cubes and wanted to make it, because it's been a Cherokee, we wanted to take advantage of the good bottom end power and try and capitalise on that. I was hoping it was going to make more power on the top end, but it didn't quite make the power of our other combinations, and that's another camshaft that Nick puts together for us. So we've currently got that camshaft getting made at the moment, and we are going to flip this camshaft around once that one arrives. But for the moment, because we've done all our testing with the factory manifold, so the factory MMX ported manifold and the other aluminium manifold, I figured let's do the same test with the Brian Tooley one, so we've compared apples with apples on the one car. So it's going to be an interesting test. I'm obviously tipping that the long runner manifold is obviously going to make a lot more power on the bottom end, but it's going to suffer in the top. And the short runner, while I'm pretty confident it's going to do very similar to what we've already seen with the other aluminium manifold, but I'd be curious to see the difference between those two. So going to be a great test. Manu's going to pretty much swap the manifolds over, and we're going to do 2 back-to-back runs with both manifolds, see what happens. I am a little bit concerned whether we're actually going to be able to fit the manifolds on, so this video could very well possibly be over before it even begins. So it doesn't look like we've got a lot of room in the back here, and I honestly feel like they were going to probably crash into the back of the manifold here pretty quickly. So let's hope the power of editing that we continue on from here. So, but anyway, let's get to work. Let's pull them apart. Let's get it pre-fitted and test it up, and let's see what these manifolds do. And just like that, we've got it all done. So we've tested out the Brian Tooley short manifold and the long manifold, and the results are not quite what I was expecting. So just a few things we're going to run over first before we move over to the dyno sheet or dyno graph. Just showing the height of the long runner manifold. This is a Cherokee. It is very tall, but yes, it does fit under the bonnet. Now, it is very tight in the back corner here. So you can see the insulation there, it's practically sitting on it. But with a bit of massaging in this area, you can certainly make this fit. And we've also got a shorter engine mount available that we can supply you with, which will allow you to drop the engine 5 to 10 mil. So although there is an issue there, it can be easily rectified. A few things is we just need to work on how to do the breathers with this particular manifold. So Brian Tooley have got it set up in a universal state. So a little bit of trickery we need to do there, but we'll do a bit of homework and work out a way to make it a bit more of a permanent thing. So this has obviously been just rigged up just for the purpose of the test and to see what results we get. These manifolds are to suit the Hellcat throttle bodies, 95mm this one is. Now, we made a very big rookie mistake when we done it. This is actually the second test I've done, because the first test, although we got good results, I was like, should have made more. And yeah, absolute rookie mistake. So BTR supply you with this adapter flange, which converts you back from Hellcat back to a standard sort of 6.4 throttle body bolt pattern. Now that's all good and well, it bolts on great. However, when you've got a bigger throttle body on it, in this case, you can see it's a bit of a restrictor in there. So it's actually 84 millimeters the hole, where the aftermarket BTR ones and this one here is 95 mil. So this is suited to a standard throttle body. So if you are putting one of these manifolds on there, you need to buy the BTR 95 mil Hellcat style throttle body to take full advantage of what this manifold has to offer. There is 10 kilowatts, the difference between having this plate in there or the stock throttle body to what the BTR Hellcat 95 mil. So don't be fooled, you do need to do the throttle body. And let's face it, if you're going to be putting one of these manifolds on your car, you're doing it because you want to make some power or obvious power change in the curve. I know they look great, but I certainly wouldn't just put one on for the looks of it. You know, you gotta have a reason for doing these modifications. So, but anyway, let's have a look at the results and let's go through it all. It's actually quite surprising. A few things you might question, but we'll walk through it as well as we can. So, having a look at the dyno sheet. So that's an overlay of the whole graph. And once we zoom into it, so let's go over a few things first, sorry. So it's a 427 stroke 6.4. It's got CNC cylinder heads from Blackwell. And then it's also got a custom 228, 245 and a 112 camshaft that Nick put together from BTR for us. It's a bit of a tweaked version of their VVT 228. I asked Nick to make me something that's going to be suited to a 427 that's going to produce as much bottom end power as possible, because we knew we had the cubes and we wanted to maximise on the heavy car and try and get the most bottom end we could out of it. However, the plan has changed and we are now in the process of getting a bigger camshaft, because we've now seen that there is more power to be made in the top end with this build. So we're now shifting our focus to making more power in the top. But in this application, we've done the test with the manifold, so this is what we're going to work with. So with the stock ported manifold, so I think it's from MMX, 374 kilowatts, 653 newton meters of torque. With the DPP Low lid manifold, I'm just going to call it that, I've just made it up. That's 388 kilowatts, 613 newtons. And then with the BTR Long Runner, 409 kilowatts, 639 newton meters. And then the BTR Short is 406, 427 newton meters. So there's a few things there you're probably going to question. Stock manifold made more torque. Yes, it did, because it has a twin stage manifold in there. So it's got a variable runner and it has a very long runner to start with, which pretty much helps with the extra torque, but then falls over in the top. And then, yeah, obviously the difference between the short and the long. So most people are probably expecting the long runner to make more power. And obviously that's what I was expecting myself. But as you can see, the short runner manifold doesn't start to come into play until around sort of 68, 6900. And you can see it's starting to take away. Now we're splitting hairs here, I know, this is like tiny, but if this had a bigger camshaft in it, and I mean a much bigger cam, which is what we're about to put in it, that's where this shorter manifold is going to be at home, and that's going to be where it's most comfortable. But with this particular build, with this combination of camshaft and the cubic capacity, you can see it actually loves the longer runner. It really does love it. So coming on from the bottom, you can see the green line here, which is the factory manifold ported. It's only natural it's going to make more power, and it's going to make it, in this case, it made more power and torque under 5200 revs, which is great. You know, racing from traffic lights, so light to light, the stock manifold's always going to feel a lot more stronger, and especially if you've got a small stall converter. So you put like a 22 or 2500 converter in something like this, and you're going to pretty much utilise this bottom end under the curve, which most people do like to have, and not many people like to rev their engines, which is fair enough. Some want to rev, some don't. But in this case, it's the factory plastic manifold is more intended for someone, he's probably going to switch it off at 5200, right? But if you're going to put a converter in it, which this car has, but I've done all these tests with the converter lock, so we don't get influence or torque multiplication from the converter. So with it being locked, it's apples with apples. So if you're going to rev this thing from 5200 upwards, then this is where you're in the manifold territory, because you can see here now, the long runner manifold from BTR starts to come on at around 4000 revs, and you can see the red line's taken off, and then pretty much at 5200, it's jumping over the top of the factory plastic manifold, and then it's strong as all the way to about 6500. It's around here, but you can see it just rolls off. Now this is where it runs out. This is where the short runner manifold comes into play, but we don't have enough camshaft to capitalise on that shorter runner. So, you know, that's the reason why the long runner works better in this application. But I'm confident with a bigger camshaft and more RPM, the shorter runner is going to be by far superior. But it all comes down to where you want your power curve. But in this particular build, the long runner wins by a long shot. But then if you compare it back to the fabricated mid-length manifold, so the DPP one, you know, you can see it's under it the whole way. And, you know, although it does make more power than the factory plastic one in the top, you really can't go wrong with the Brian Tooley one. The Brian Tooley just wins, and especially the long runner. But I guess this is where you've got to have a look at a couple of things, and you've got to sit back and think about it. So the long runner fits underneath a Cherokee bonnet, minimal modifications, but it fits. You won't get one on a 300C body, not going to happen. So the short runner, if you've got a 300C and you want to get the maximum power, you know, above 5,000 revs, which is where it comes to life, both manifolds for that matter, then you really don't have an option. The short runner BTR manifold is the only option you have for a 300C. But if you have a Cherokee, you get to pick. You have two options. However, the long runner is, in my opinion, with this particular camshaft and, you know, setup, the long runner is better for this application. But once we put the bigger camshaft in, I will have a very different tone. So we'll do another video when we put the big camshaft in this one, so we can demonstrate the difference between the bigger cam and the two manifolds, because we will definitely test them both together again. A lot of work, but you've got to do this stuff, because, you know, there's never ever one manifold or combination that's better than another. They're just better in different areas, and some are better in the top, some are better in the bottom, and it all comes down to where you want your power and how you're going to drive it and so on. So I guess if you're building a Hemi, you've got to speak to your tuner and your engine builder, and you've got to lay out a rock solid plan as to what you're trying to achieve, because all four of these manifolds are great in their own right. I guess we can take the DPP one and we can throw that out, because we can compare the plastic one to the long and the short BTRs. And, you know, the BTRs, all three of them are a great manifold depending on where you want your power. So for this build here, this particular camshaft is what I like to call it a nice torquey camshaft. You give this to your missus to drive. It's a really sedate, really nice rumbly camshaft, but it's not over the top and anyone can drive it. But you put the long runner manifold on there, you can make, you know, your 400 kilowatts at the wheels, have a nice, good, strong car that you can drive on the street and go and pick up your groceries every day of the week. Where the short runner manifold, you know, just real zappy off the bottom, but, you know, it falls over. And I know this because I've got a Cherokee myself with a similar combination, and I get on the throttle and it's like, yeah, it's on, the power's really good, but you're looking for more throttle. You're putting your foot to the floor and you're trying to put your foot onto the ground because there's no more power. Like, you just want more and it's over. And that's why the short runner manifold, or sorry, the plastic manifold runs out at 5,200. Like, it's all over. That's when it's done, and then it switches off at 6,000. So that's where the Brian Tooley long runner manifold, you're going to have more to play with. So you got more of a party in the top end. So you know, if you're confused or you're not sure what to do, it's always good to have the conversation with someone who's done the R&D and the development. And hopefully this video can be passed around to people doing similar builds, and this helps you make that decision. So thanks for sticking around. I hope you liked the video. I hope it was clear enough for you to understand. So pretty much just a quick breakdown on where it was. You know, the factory manifold is obviously the best under 52. The Brian Tooley long runner manifold pretty much starts to switch on at 5,200 and will run all the way to about 6,600, 6,700 RPM. With the short runner manifold at around 6,800, that sucker comes to life. It's not a long way underneath the short runner manifold, but just enough. But if you've got a decent, you know, build with a decent camshaft in it, I'm sure with a bit of, you know, fine tuning in the tune, you could probably sneak it a little bit closer to the long runner. But definitely the long runner is by far superior in this particular application. So I look forward to using these on other builds and see whether we get similar results. But big shout out to Brian Tooley for getting these manifolds out. I believe we're the first people in Australia to have these. And probably the first person to ever do a YouTube video and a test on them, like an independent test. So we paid for these manifolds. They didn't give them to us by any means. So yeah, but anyway, thanks to Brian Tooley for making a good product, and we look forward to using these on other builds. If you haven't subscribed to our channel already, click the subscribe button now, and yeah, let us know in the comments what you think. And if you've got any ideas as to, you know, the differences between things, or what you think, you know, a bigger camshaft on the top, or you've got your own theories, you know, hit me up. I'm open, because I'm learning this stuff at the same time. So, you know, we tried new things and we learn new things, and you know, today we learned something, you know, just 10 mil of throttle body difference between the stock throttle body and the aftermarket one, you know, and it was like 10 kilowatts in it. So I did not expect to see that. But anyway, thanks again, and we'll see you next time.